Hello there. I am here to share with you a seed I found for Minecraft PlayStation 4 in the latest update. As you can see, it includes mansions, and I just thought this was a good seed on a large map with lots of things to explore. So let's get right to it. So here's the map. Let's see. So I went through and actually explored all 25 maps, and you can see right now some of them have mansions on them, including where we are right now, which is right near the spawn point. So really a great way to start if you're going to do a survival seed on here, or play survival on here. And so on the back here I have the maps. So these are all the maps that actually have things in them. Now the bottom left map down here only has a mansion, as well as this one. And this one only has an igloo. So I'm not even going to bother exploring that, but there's an igloo down in the section down here somewhere. It does actually have a hidden room below it, so that is nice. And there's one other igloo on the map over here that does not, so I didn't even bother marking when that was. So I'm going to go through the map here and show you all the villages, the other discoverable places, I guess you'd call them. And I'll start going through just from the top and go across, work my way down the map. I usually refer to the rows here as letters A through E, and then 1, 2, 5 going across. So let's get started. I'll head up to the top left map over here and show you what I discovered up there. So here we are at the first village we have here up in map A1. As you can see, this is towards sort of the bottom left side of the map. It is actually a decent sized village, plenty of farms and everything to get all your food, and although it's pretty far away, if you managed your way up here, it would be a nice place to settle down and make sort of a home away from home should you decide to stick around in the central map. So then from here we can head right over to point of interest number 2, which is, if you were paying attention on the map, you'll see is a mansion. So let's just head over to that. And here, now this mansion is particularly interesting because it has such a huge sort of foundation on it, which is a little strange because there's no hills or anything around it that would have made this necessary. Just on the edge here. But anyway, so here's a nice, good-sized mansion, also in the top left-hand corner map A1. And then real quick, I will head over to the next map, A3, further along in the top row. So here we are at the top right in the middle of, as far as center-wise, in the middle of the large map, all the way at the top, map A3. So right in the middle on the top, we have our first desert temple, which is really cool. This one is buried about halfway into the sand, which is a very sort of kind of a cool effect, showing the passage of time. Now this is a pretty isolated area, some pretty nice landscape around it. But the inside has some enchanted books, gold, iron, so it could be well worth the adventure if those are things you are in need of. And I can actually then head right over to the next map, because just over the border to the next map, which would be A4 on our beginning map, are a couple of villages over in this map. So this is actually the top part of the map here. Has a lot to offer for being so far away from the starting, your spawn point. So we're actually a pretty good sized village. So we're on the coordinates 880 or 840 so and negative 2276. So again, of map A4. Decent village, has a blacksmith, which is always helpful if you're looking to score some easy loot. And in my map here, some iron and some gold, a pair of iron leggings, so again, could be useful for if you're out adventuring this far away from home. And then just to the slightly southwest of this village is another one. So these are actually pretty close by and not too far away from that desert temple. And again, this is a pretty good sized village. I will say about this seed is the villages have been were generally pretty good sized. And it's always nice again to have the blacksmith. Not quite the awesome loot as the other one, but nonetheless, a village is plenty of villagers, plenty of food, so you could probably set up some good trades with some of the villagers in this one as well. So I'll head over to the next map. It's a bit farther over, so I will jump over there real quick and we can show you the last two villages up here in the top row. And here we are in the very top right corner of the map, this tiny little village, only two buildings. Now one of them is a blacksmith, but it really doesn't have anything in there that makes it worth the trek. You can see just some iron, an iron sword, really not much there, and you can see we are all the way up on the top corner of the map. So the odds of you ever getting here where you play this large map in survival are pretty small. So it's kind of a pointless to have a village this far away from the middle of the map, but again, it is there should you manage to venture this far. And now slightly closer to home, although still all the way in this top right-hand corner of the map, is another village. And here we are. Just a little bigger, but nothing really is useful as far as building wide, so unless you create more villagers, you may not find anybody useful to trade with other than the ever-present librarian and some of these useless green villagers that just don't like to talk to you. Toolsmith, so a decent shovel, but again, this is so far away. The odds of ever venturing this far north of the map are probably pretty small. So I'm going to head right down to, I guess it would be B5, so the second row from the top all the way over on the right side of the map. There is, and I will have to get a potion of night vision handy for this one. And let's switch to this B5 map. Actually, throw that up there so it's easy to see where we are. And here we come to our first ocean temple. So not too terribly far, again, all the way over to the right side of the map. But as you can see as we go through the rest of the map where the other interesting, more populated map sections are. This wouldn't be too bad and a good adventure to take yourself on, as there are only 2 ocean monuments in this map. And so here is one of them. And you can see where we are on that map, pretty far up on the right-hand corner of map B5. So now we'll head over to the next map over and take a look at what we have on that one. So here we're now up in the right-hand side of map B4, so the second row from the top, second column from the right. Actually a good-sized village. This would be a good place. Lots of food and farms, plenty of villagers to interact with. Now there isn't much around here, so it's not like a big forest or mountains or anything. But again, it's not too far away from the middle part of the map, so it would be totally worth the adventure going out here and making a little home here. Blacksmith doesn't have very much interesting in it, so if that's one of your hopes, not really the city for that, but again, a pretty decent sized village. So I'm going to head down towards the next map with something interesting in it, and I'll be back when I get there. And here we are in the left-hand corner of map tile B2, so the second row from the top, the second column over from the left, the second ocean monument. So there's only 2 in this map, and they're both up here in the second row here, and on either ends of the map. But again, if you are the adventurous type and willing to conquer the depths within here, then this is a great place to come check it out. It's kind of far from land, so it'll be a tough spot to get to, but again, well worth it if you're in need of a bunch of gold blocks. So I'll head over to the first column, first tile over here in row B, and show you the other desert temple in this map. And here we are, Desert Temple number 2, up in the very top edge of map B1. You can see the little marker just below the X coordinates on the map. Not quite as buried as the other one, but still pretty cool that it's sunk a little bit into the ground. And again, not much around here, so it's a quite a hike to get up here. But again, worth it, as the desert temples tend to have lots of really nice things down in their hidden chambers. So next I'll head down to C1, so this will be the middle row. And here we are at the very, very topmost edge of map C1, so right in the middle row where the spawn point map is, but all the way to the top edge. What's really interesting here is the door is sort of barely carved out space for it right into the hill here. And this mansion is actually pretty big as far as a footprint. On a pretty interesting top level layout here. Now I've not gone and explored all these mansions because that would just take way too much time. So this one's actually not too far from where you start. And I mean, like I said, a pretty good size one here. I'm sure there's plenty of loot and monsters to slay should you dare to go in. So now I'll head over right to the center of the map where you spawn. You'll see where I had the maps on those first 2 mansions, and we'll kind of plot those out for you and give an idea of just how excellent, particularly the middle of this map is. So here we are right back at the center where I had I built the large map with this mansion here in the middle. And what's nice is you spawn within sight of this mansion. So a nice, good place to start if you're skilled enough to carve out a little part of this mansion for yourself to live in. And what's even cooler is, if you look in the right direction, you can see from this mansion the other mansion on this map. And I think an enterprising individual would create some sort of either tunnel or railway system to jump from one mansion to another. I think it'd be pretty cool to have it just go right through the top floor here or something like that. Sort of like the hotels at Disney World or something like that, because they're pretty close together. It would be just a nice way to a nice project to make, especially if in survival mode. That would be a pretty epic task to undertake. And what's especially nice about this is, you spawn near two mansions that are home, but then also right just over the border into what would be map C4 are 2 villages. So right here from the center map you have 2 mansions, and then just the next map over, which is the busiest map of this entire large world, that is assuming I can still find it. Here we are. So small village, pretty cool, built right into the side of a hill here, and this is just over the map, over the border into map C4. And then actually not too far from here, right up, I should give an idea where we are in this map. So you can see right at the bottom corner of this map, and then just up a little farther north on this map is yet another village. And this village, again, another really pretty large village for a map. Although it's got a water leak, somebody's going to have to fix. So we see right from the center map on the left, you have these 2 mansions, and then right here you have 2 villages so close by. And then also in this map, so this definitely the most crowded section of this world, there's then 2 more mansions. Again, all right within a very close distance to each other. So I would guess if someone, playing this map in survival mode, you would probably spend a lot of time in this section of the map. So there's just kind of average looking mansion. It doesn't have just a big rectangle floor plan. The main part's got some corners to it there, which is an interesting feature. And here's another very tall. So another mansion right here. Again, nice good mansion right all the way at the very top corner of this map. And then what is even cooler here? So we got 2 villages and 2 mansions in this map. And then as we jump over, as I showed you before, this was just below the villages that were up here in map B4. So again, I'm not going to jump down to what would be the C or D5, which is where there's just an igloo, not much really worth showing. So instead, I'm going to jump down to right below spawn point, another map with plenty of stuff to look at. So I will jump my way down there and then get back. And here we are, map D3. So this is right below the center map. And we have here another little village, which is pretty cool. This is right by the water, always an interesting feature. And I hadn't noticed this before, but the path, if it goes through water, gets replaced with wood instead of either gravel or dirt, which I thought was pretty interesting. I don't remember that being in older versions of the game. And then what's really interesting too here is right on this map, so there's a village right here in the corner, and then nearby is yet another village. A pretty small one. Again, nice little setting in the woods here. A little bigger than the other one, and also another blacksmith, which is really cool. These maps all have blacksmiths, so hopefully there's lots of good people to trade with. And then more importantly in this map, here we have I marked them here with beacons, so they'd be easy to find. Where the end portal is. So using the Eyes of Ender to navigate, to find this place, they will lead you and want you to dig down right about this area here. You have to go down fair ways to get in. So I have not found a surface entrance to this place. What's a little weird is it's all broken up because it looks like it built this right in the middle of a cave system. So it's actually pretty easy to find the actual portal from that point. And then again, I marked with the green beacon here where the actual, so right above where it is. So it's actually not too hard to find. So even though the Eyes of Ender are not very accurate, this will still get you a good glimpse, or a good idea where on the map the end is. So again, not too far from home. And speaking of home, I'm going to jump back to home real quick to finish this off and give some final commentary on this large map. So here we are back at the main map, and again, just to review everything we looked at. So there's a good, decent cluster of things up here in this top left-hand corner. This is a village, a mansion, a desert temple, and an ocean monument, all right up in the corner. The top up here is a desert, and then there's 4 villages between these 2 top maps over here. Another ocean temple up in this corner. Just 1 village down in the right-hand side of this map. And then you get into this middle section here, these middle, say 3 maps in particular, which is, Plan of Survival. This would really be all you'd need probably to gather all the materials you would need to win the game if you wanted to take that so far. So if these 2 mansions here, 2 villages right near here, and then 2 more mansions up in this corner. And then just above that, like I said, the village that was up here. And then down here, there's 2 more villages on this map and a link to the end portal. Now again, there is an igloo over here with a secret room in the basement. Not much interesting in there. And then these 2 maps each have 1 mansion. And then there's a witch's hut in the swamp area of this map. But otherwise, really not much going on here. But I did at least want to show a map to show you that most of the maps, the individual map sections within this large map have something in them. So in the comments, I will post all of the coordinates for all of these areas, as well as the seed number, which is a really long number. I'm not going to try and tell you with all the numbers in it. But again, I appreciate you taking a look at this video. These take several hours to make with all the mapping and plotting and everything, so I appreciate any thumbs ups, nice comments, and please subscribe for some more of these. I have some more that I'm working on. And again, these good survival seed maps in the latest release of Minecraft on the PlayStation 4. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.